Next, motion 21, Mr. Stowles, Norfolk LDC. Nick.
Morning, conference. It's astonishing to see how many people are here this time of the morning. It's I'm not quite sure if my brain is still here at the moment, but anyway, let's have a go. Conference, I want to tell you about a group of primary care professionals who are really suffering at the moment. There's a chronic recruitment crisis, meaning that many practices remain under-resourced. They're often attempting to do the job of two colleagues, and they're seeing so many patients that it's been considered professionally unsafe. They're watching colleagues burn out through stress, and in some instances taking their own lives. And all this is set to a backdrop of ever-increasing expenses and dwindling pay awards. Sounds familiar, but I think you all know who I'm referring about. There's a crisis in general medical practice. The government have acknowledged it and have implemented changes to make general practice a better place to work, in the hope that they can start to attract doctors back to general practice again. But aren't we suffering in exactly the same way that our GP colleagues are? Well, of course we are. We've even had a summit at the BDA attended by the Department of Health, the CDO, NHS England, and everybody else that you can imagine that might want to have a word in this, to address the recruitment crisis in NHS primary care dentistry. And what was the panacea for our problem? Well, it was more mentors to support young GDPs. So that should sort the problem out, shouldn't it? In April, the Department of Health and Social Care extended Crown Indemnity to GPs after 18 months of negotiations. So I hear you asking, well, so what? At the National Conference of LMCs, which I attended in March, I was told that as a result of the state picking up the costs of NHS medical negligence claims, a regular GP's indemnity costs have reduced from £8,000 a year to £600. Now, that's what I call a pay rise. And I tell you, it wasn't the alcohol at their conference dinner that had put a smile on their faces. So, why not for us dentists? Well, we didn't get a mention in the NHS long-term plan. We weren't the subject of a GP 5-year forward view. And we didn't get a visit to the BDA in Wimpole Street from Simon Stevens and Matt Hancock like they did at BMA House a couple of months ago. Why shouldn't we be entitled to state indemnity for our NHS work as dentists? When asked, they said no. So is that it? Do we just walk away, shrug our shoulders, thinking, well, we asked? Some months ago, we asked the direct question in a meeting of Department of Health and NHS England, do you want the NHS dentistry to wither on the vine? Sadly, their response was equivocal. Perhaps they think if they ignore us for long enough, we'll go away. Let's start to let them know that we are still here. Let's demand parity with our GP colleagues by calling for state indemnity at every opportunity and not accept no for an answer. Conference, I ask you to support this motion.
Thank you very much, Nick. Just a reminder, can we please restrict people moving motions and speakers to 3 minutes, otherwise we will curtail further contributions. Next, Roger Levy, Enfield and Haringey LDC, is speaking for this motion. Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I'm in support of the motion. I'd just like to add to what Nick said two little things. The first thing is that if we had state indemnity, then it would probably mean that there would be a little bit more awareness of the amount of work that the GDC does that is not necessarily in favour of us, because there's going to be a lot of response financially to that from the state, much more than there would be from us. The second thing is that the consequence of that would be that we would be a great deal less stressed. I think it's a great motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Right, Simon Henshaw speaking for the motion.
Yeah, I think this is a no-brainer, really. So setting up a parallel Crown indemnity system similar to the GPs is fair, sensible and just. Both professions have seen costs rise and recruitment levels fall. In GP land now, they're getting indemnity for all providers, as well as in urgent care and locums, all DCPs and nurses, all public health work. There's absolutely no justification for not doing this. I support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Right, okay, we'll take this to the vote. All LDCs. Those in favour of motion 21? Anyone against? Card up, are you? Oh, no. Any abstentions? No abstentions, thank you. The motion is carried, thank you.